Hey everyone, and welcome to Faith and Justice Podcast. I'm your man, Dr. L.
And I'm your man, Dr. B. I'm his sidekick, y'all. This man is great. I just happen to be here.
Stop it. Please stop it.
I gotta bring the funny. You know I gotta bring the funny. Come on now, man. I'm just doing my job, man. That's all.
So welcome to the podcast. Thank you. We got a few new subs. I don't know if you saw that, but we're up to 7 subs now. All the way up to 7.
We are on our way, man.
We are on our way. Despise not today small things.
Lord, I'm sorry. Did you just quote a scripture? Did you just quote a scripture? I am affecting you.
I grew up in church, but I know those scriptures, boy. I know them.
Yes, sir. You grew up in church.
And listen, I was one of those Christians that actually read the Bible. I actually read
it. Sir, you are a powerhouse. You are a teacher among teachers, sir. And I appreciate you, sir. Hope you come back to that. Your first word, sir, in Jesus' name.
All right, so here we are. This is the podcast, brand new. We're still getting our feet off the ground here, but we appreciate you guys. If you're watching this for the first time, make sure you hit the like button on your way in, subscribe, share the content. You can always email us. The email will be in the description or in the About Me section. You can email us about public speaking. You can email us. Dr. B does comedy. You can email us if you want him to come preach at your church, and all that other kind of stuff. You're looking for someone to deal with criminal justice, to do some type of criminal justice training, to help maybe the young people learn how to interact with the police or any type of thing like that. Just drop us a line. Also, if you have a topic.
Dr. L did not tell me to say this, but if you really want to help your young people how to deal with the police when they are stopped, this is the guy. He was in the force over 24 years, and this guy knows it, and he is a minority. I know you don't think it is, but he is a minority, and he really helps people in that area. I'll stop.
All right. So we did. So this is actually kind of a follow-up here, actually.
Yes, sir.
So we did. We talked about the Sha'Carri Richardson situation before. We're gonna finish off with that. But you were saying some great stuff there, and I wanted to kind of continue with what you were saying about your thoughts about the arrest portion, because before the portion that we recorded was before the actual body cam footage came out.
Right.
Now we have the body cam footage, and you're starting to elaborate on that. And I said, hold up, let's get it on tape. So go ahead with what you were saying.
Yeah, the key is that our society has told women they can hit on men, and when she was arrested, she kept saying, "Come on, Christian, come on, Christian." And the thing about it, though, she had done something wrong, and our society is so full of people that don't want to confess. Listen, I was wrong, and I got to deal with the consequences. Just like a man has to do it, a woman has to do it too as well. She is not that big. She's a little, tiny something, but even more so. So here's some wisdom people don't know. It's not the male mosquito that bites. It's the female. A lot of people don't know that. It is never the male. It's the female. So in this case, she was being the mosquito that was hitting and biting her man. I'm sorry, she wasn't actually biting him, but I'm talking about the where she was assaulting him. And thing about it, she never said, you know what? And then she kept saying, I didn't touch him. She kept saying that. I didn't do nothing to him, when actually you did.
Yeah. No, that's an interesting point. I want to approach that from the second part of what you said, that she was so adamant that she didn't touch him. Now, I was on somebody else's podcast, and I was trying to help them understand the psychology of what goes on in those types of environments. It's questionable as to whether she was actually lying about that. Now, here's what I mean. She was obviously incorrect.
She was.
Because she was obviously incorrect. But when I use the term lying, I'm saying, was she deliberate in her deception? In what was she rationalizing in her mind? Did she think that it was okay for a woman to put her hands on a man because of the environmental structure that she grew up in? That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Was it culturally acceptable, given her limited culture, whether I don't know her family dynamics, but that's what I'm talking about. She might have grown up seeing her aunts and mother do this and say it's okay. her big sister, everybody, all of her, everyone in her environment. Remember the Michael Vick case? Remember Michael Vick when
Yeah.
he was arrested with the dogs?
Right. They were
He
using that as their
really,
culture. Yeah, exactly.
didn't understand that this was a problem.
Right. Right.
It was, and people often push back on that. Well, Dr. L, how do you not know that? He didn't understand that dog breeding and all this was a problem because of his culture, of his environment. We can go all the way back to us being bred that way, all that kind of stuff, right? So when you take that type of psychology, and this is the difference. This is the difference between maturing and cultures and all that, and being segregated by cultures. If you grow up in a household with domestic violence or stealing or swearing or even touching your little cousins and little nephews and whatever, if people don't realize it's wrong until you grow up and like, oh, wait a minute, this happened to me and it shouldn't have been happening. So
Right.
so it could be. I'm not saying that it is. I haven't talked to Sha'Carri or anything like that. I'm just trying to give the psychological perspective of she may not have understood that was wrong. Therefore, she said, I didn't touch him or whatever.
Right.
Now, she obviously did. We all saw it.
Yeah.
And then she took accountability for that in a second. We'll talk about in a second here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there was another point that you said that I should have wrote down that was I should have. What else did you say there? Because there was something that really, really important.
Just accountability of it, and also how she said, I really didn't do it. Yes, you did it. But then she kept saying to him, Christian, like, come to my rescue. Well, you wasn't there when you was hitting on him. You didn't come to his rescue. You were hitting on him. So again, we're in a society that only looks at what you're doing to me versus what I'm doing to you. That's how society is structured right now. Is that so? Let me tell you how to fix this real quick. Whatever you're doing to your spouse, which one that done to you? Very simple. It's called the golden rule. It's not in the Bible, but doing to others, I have to do it to you. So that's a very simple rule. Would I want my husband or my wife hitting on me in public like that? Now, again, if you're doing S&M, have a safe word. I ain't gonna mess with you. But that wasn't no S&M. That was her infuriated. Now, let me also be the devil's advocate. What happened that she got so furiated? All right, so this is where men and I don't get along with. Listen, guys, listen. I am not justifying what she did, but as a man, as a leader, what did he do to set her off? Now, if you're telling me that's who she is and she's bipolar, okay, I'm not saying that. So I'm saying something happened prior to that set her off. And usually when a woman goes off like that, and Dr. L, this, usually cheating involved. Something's involved because now what belonged to me, you get to somebody else. Ladies, gentlemen, I am not saying I'm justifying what she did. I'm not justifying. I'm just saying, what did that man do to set her off? There's no excuse what she did. No excuse. But what did he do? And for most part, when a woman is set off like that, the man did something.
Well, definitely, I agree with that. He did something. And again, think about whatever that.
What she did, though.
Think about whatever, right? It doesn't excuse that. Right. So think about whatever he did allegedly that set her off to such a degree that she thought that she would touch this man, push him numerous times in a public place. This is why I go back to culture, upbringing, and all that. Why would you think you could put your hands on this man? And again, I haven't talked to her. Maybe she is suffering from some mental illness or impulse control. There's tons of things that could be going on with that. So
it's a diabolical point where I can do what I want to do and not have a consequence. But again, it's you raise a very good point. If that's how she was raised, that's what she's used to. She's used to that type of mentality. I never forget this. I think I was like 18 years old. I had to preach somewhere. I forgot where I had to preach at. And after I preached, I went over somebody's house because they fed the preacher. And I remember to this day, Dr. L, that the young lady that brought me to her house, her father was in a corner. I'll never forget this. And every time he moved, the mother told him, "Where you going?" And it was like he was a dog. I will never forget that as long as I live. And he stayed in that corner. It was amazing to me. And to your point about when I'm used to it, the young lady who brought me to her house, it was like it was normal to her. Yeah, because she'd been seeing it so many times. So I guarantee you, if she got married, I don't know her name, I don't, whatever. She probably did that to her man and said, "Hey, this is normal."
That's definitely something I want to get into in a little bit. I'm looking for a video that I play often because we talked about being groomed in these types of situations.
Yeah,
And there's a video of two babies. I mean, they're talking, but they're probably like 2 years old. Their conversation is pretty advanced, so I don't know why they're still wearing diapers. but I'm like, what's going on here?
Toiletry. Okay, I got it.
What's that?
Say advanced in mind, but not in toiletry. How do you?
Yeah, I mean, you got this, advanced vocabulary, but you still can't poop where you're supposed to. So I'm looking for it right now. I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but the point is, you talked about being groomed and exactly what you mentioned there. People growing up in these particular environments. These two little babies are having this argument. Saying you're it's a boy and a girl. And the girl is saying, "I'm not a baby," and the boy, probably a little bit old. I don't think he's in diapers. He says, "Well, you are a baby because you're in diapers." She said, "I'm not a baby," and then they're going back and forth like this, and then she eventually starts touching him. And the people who are watching this don't correct the little girl, and that bothered me so much because this is the environment that we are seeing.
Correct.
I'm 50 years old. I can remember being in school, not only middle school but grammar school, having little arguments with girls, and they're saying, you can't touch me because I'm a girl. Well, wait a minute. They would come out, hit us, and all the kind of stuff, right? You chase them around the school playground.
Yeah.
But what does this do to the collective psyche of the boys as they grow up? And who knows whether that is what's going on in this kid Christian's head, who had to deal with this from his woman.
Right.
Or to your point,
that's why he took it. He didn't ever. He never hit her back. As you saw that, he never hit her back.
Right. So we don't know what's going on. It's a lot of speculation here, but we wanted to finish this off here with talking about that because I think it was very important for us to get into and to speak about this. I wanted to speak about men who are.
Could you put our website up, Dr. Els? People can come to our website so they can find who we are, all that good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not trained what to do, so I'm just making a
No, you got it. I should have all these listed here. Also, if you have a show topic here, this might be scrolling at the bottom. We have a show topic there. There's our email as well. So let's talk about the men. Have you ever counseled men who are dealing with? Here's what the point I wanted to talk about. The second point. Well, a lot of people don't realize this. Men are often seen as the aggressors. Oh, you guys are so violent. You start wars and all this kind of stuff. When you look at intimate partner violence, and that includes siblings, it includes taking care of your elderly, parents who are taking care of their children. Actually, women are the most violent. They take their violence out on their children. They're very violent towards their children.
Okay.
And they're also when you look at the elderly care, whether it's in nursing homes or it's in taking care of your own elderly loved ones, they are the most violent. A lot of people don't realize that.
All right, so I can see that, and yes, I've counseled women, men. I'm thinking about one case. His mother was very mean toward him, and the reason why, he looked so much like the absentee father. He resembled the talk, the mannerism, which makes sense because that was her dad. His dad, but he abdicated the throne. He left the house, and so all of her aggravation of I got to do 2 jobs and I got to do this because your father left me. She kept breathing that to him, curse him out, destroy him. And that's why so many men will take that aggravation and give it to everybody else that they see. And I would say, that, when a father abuses you, that's one thing. But when a mother abuses a son, it's a whole nother matter. Just like with when a little girl is abused by his mom, by her mom, that's one thing. But when the father abuses the daughter, that's another issue. So when the opposite sex is abusing the child, it takes a whole nother level. I'm not saying it negates the same sex that's abusing the child, but when the father abuses the daughter or the mother abuses the son, it takes a whole nother level. A lot of people don't understand that because, again, that's the relationship. You are drawn to your mother as a son. You are drawn to the father as a son. You're drawn to the mother. So that abuse is very damaging, and it affects so many people more than they know.
Oh, absolutely, more than they know. And so I had a great conversation on my other channel, Dr. L's podcast, with Kendall L. Williams. And we talked about what the work that she does is she deals with individuals who are estranged from their children, in particular, sons who are estranged from their mothers, because
Wow.
she is estranged from her son. And her son is 29 years old, and she has eliminated all contact between the two. So we had a good conversation. It's a touchy subject, but I tried to get into what happened and why. And essentially, what I could glean from that conversation is it's because of the divorce, and because when the child was 8, that's when his mother and father got divorced. She then, not long after that, moved from Florida to Atlanta, away from her father. They had a very close, tight relationship, and that seemed to have triggered something. And
Wrecked his life. She wrecked his social point and turned him out. So not only did he not have his father, he didn't even have his friends anymore. So that's why she checked out on him, on her.
Right. So, and his anger grew not only towards her, but to everyone else, the other sibling, to the stepfather, because she got remarried to the stepfather, his own grandmother. So it was a good conversation. If anybody out there, go to my other channel, Dr. L's podcast. You can watch it. It's one of the live videos over there. I found that video with the little kid here. I think there's music. I think there's music playing in the background, so I won't be able to play that. But I do want people to look at the body language of the children here. So. Oh, geez. I apologize. Hold on. All right. Some people, when you guys shoot your videos here, use the highest resolution here. All right. Let me get this off the screen here. I apologize. I got to look at it from another.
We got your point, though. We got your point, sir.
I can find it somewhere else here. Hold on a second here. All right. So that's that. So men, have you there is resources. Well, let me ask you this: why do you think that men are so reluctant to call the police when and if they are?
They feel that this is not a manly thing to do, to call police on my wife. Some of them feel guilty because they did something to tick the wife off. So that's why those are top 2 reasons why a lot of men do not call. But again, the bottom line is, back to your point about the young lady with her son, is people got to let go of grudges. Grudges are just dangerous like crazy, because here you are holding on to what someone did to you. And the more you hold on to it, the more it will become an anchor, and it will sink you. I mean, it will literally sink you. And that's why you're going to be so careful not to allow that spirit within your mindset, because it will stay there and it will destroy you as long as you let it stay there. Every single time. Every single time. I had to.
Do you think?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I had to forgive my father. I had to forgive my mother, for, how their marriage, rained down on how they raised me, and my sister. I had to forgive them. I had to actually release that, because as long as, listen, people, when you listen, when you don't release that trauma, the trauma will show up again every single time. When you don't release that trauma and say, you know what, I've got to let it go. I got to forgive. Get the help, but I got to forgive. I have to heal from this, because if you don't heal from this, you carry that grudge, you're going to hurt people. Maybe you ever heard it? I know you have. Hurt people, hurt people. And so many people stay in that trauma mix. That's why they go through multiple marriages. That's why they go through multiple relationships. Why? Because the initial, I told somebody today or whatever, I said, your first relationship is not with your wife or girlfriend, boyfriend. Your first relationship is with your parents. That is your very first relationship. And whatever they put in you or whatever you saw is exactly what you're going to play out later on, every single time. Every
might
single
be
time.
able to. What are your thoughts about embarrassment? I think that a lot of men would just be embarrassed to call on. It seemed emasculated. It seemed like,
Yeah.
I should be able to handle this, right?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, it is embarrassing for your wife to hit you. You know, and I was in a toxic relationship, and you know what? It is embarrassing, but it's like, do I move? Do I call, or do I get out? And for me, I got out. Oh, here you go.
All right, we'll see if we can play this here. So it might be some music here. So, but if I got to delete it, then we'll just play it. But just watch the little girl's body language. She's obviously on the right here.
Okay. Oh, wow. Oh, Lord. Oh, wow. Get in his face. Who's her mama?
So I'm not sure if you could hear. Could you hear that? I don't know if you could
A
hear
little
that.
bit.
Okay. So what was going on there is obviously they were having an argument about I'm not a baby, but you're wearing a diaper. And listen, that's all the brother had to say. Listen, you're wearing a diaper. I don't know what to tell you, little girl, but babies wear diapers, and you got one on. so so but I wanted to point out that the mother or someone was seemingly holding the camera, and it sounded like a little baby was next to them, a little infant, and you could hear her snicker every once in a while. And when she
Yeah.
touched him 2 times at least,
Stop it.
never corrected it.
Right.
Got in his face, as you acknowledged.
Right.
So if you don't stop the little girls from doing, and he remained calm, and I guarantee if he would have did anything, whoa, don't
Yeah.
touch your little sister,
Yeah.
don't touch her,
Yeah.
don't do
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Again, it's people making the changes that what I want that done to me. People, if you get nothing out of our show today, it's very simple. What I want to be embarrassed like that in public. No one's going to say, "Oh yeah, embarrass me in public like that." No one's going to say that, and that's exactly what that woman did to Christian. She embarrassed him. She put her hands on him, and acted as if, "Hey," in other words, you should take this. You're a man. No, no. The bottom line is, and you know this, Dr. L, women attempt suicide more than men, but men commit suicide more than women. Why? Because they have all of this trauma and stress and abuse that have not been dealt with. And so it builds, and builds. And this depression just overwhelms men so much that they feel, hey, I might as well cap myself off, which is definitely not an option at all.
So here is a hotline for any brothers out there who are dealing with this, and this is called Myths Around Men Experiencing Abuse.
Wow.
And And so it's, talking about this, right? It's got 4 different myths around men experiencing abuse and why they're just myths. Myth number 1: the world tells us that men can't be victims of abuse. One in 10 one in 10 men have experienced rape, physical violence, or stalking by an intimate partner. I guarantee it's higher than that. It's particularly for stalking. And
Yeah.
yet we also hear from our male contacts that they are not believed or taken seriously when reporting abuse to family members, friends, or law enforcement. On
Wow.
average, 24 people per minute are victims of rape, physical violence, or stalking by an intimate partner. So violence can and does happen to men. There's another guy, T. Hassan Johnson. He talks about, when you factor in boys who at the age of 13 or so start sleeping with the 24 and 25-year-old, babysitters and the little girl down the street, he's counting that. And even the FBI,
Oh
when
yeah.
they look at that stuff, that's count as abuse, right?
Any form of intimacy as a child is abuse. That does include when your 6-year-old cousin touches you at 6 years old. That's still sexual abuse. Why? Because that little boy or little girl learned it from somewhere. There's no child that wakes up and says, I want to be a pedophile. There's not, that happened to them. And so what happened is uh, I cannot tell you how many people who come to me for counseling, and when I press the issue, because I mean, God, thank God for discernment. I said, something happened to you. No, it didn't happen. Then after really taking my time, they said, you know what? My cousin did touch me when I was young.
Mm.
And even though they were both cousins, both the same age, that's still abuse.
Mm.
That is still that's not playing. So again, what the world says, oh, you playing house. That's what
Mm.
called back in the day. You playing house, or you playing doctor and nurse. That's still abuse, because that child learned it from somewhere who was an adult.
Mm. Very good. Myth number 2: the media tells us men are just the perpetrators of violence, but never the victims. Uh, Contribution of media to the normalization and perpetuation of domestic violence shows that domestic violence has become persuasive in society. It is
Correct.
partly because of the media exposure that we have become desensitized and even accustomed to it. According to this study, chronic and repeated exposure to domestic violence is believed to cause changes in affective, cognitive, and behavioral processes. So, what happens when this is repeated exposure only portrays men as predators and not the victims? You get the
Right.
idea,
Right.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
They're always the aggressor. Is always the man. Now, again, I'm old school. I do believe the man's the leader. All right. But sometimes these women come in a relationship with trauma themselves. The bottom line is this: what is dating for? Dating is when I got to find out what issues you have, what issues I have. So I tell men, when you go out on a date, and it gets serious, you know what? Now, number one, if I cannot show you my my thorns, or show you what's wrong with me, that's a sign I'm the person for you, because you
Mm.
got to be naked.
Mm.
Much as I talk about marital sex, I like being naked. Praise the Lord, hallelujah. But the nakedness also works mentally. I'm sorry, Lawrence. No, I can't help myself. Uh, I can't. I just can't. Nakedness is not just physically; it's mentally. So if I'm afraid the person I'm dating is going to weaponize what I'm about to say to them, that's a sign that's not your future spouse. Period. Because if you're going to weaponize my weakest moment, if you're going to weaponize my most vulnerable time where I almost committed suicide, or
Mm.
my mother had sex with me. I mean, if you're going to weaponize that, or I get the feeling you are, then I got to back away and not be a part of the relationship. Now, how do you know that, Dr. Brantley? Thanks for asking. You give them little tidbits. And then when the argument comes up, if they use that little tidbit, deuces. Because if you're going to bring up my pain, and I gave you a little piece of my pain, and you bring it up, you're weaponizing it. So that tells me the more I give you, the more you're gonna weaponize it and come after me. So that's a very, very telltale sign that, you know what, this is not the person I need to marry or go further with.
I'm not going to disagree with anything you said there.
Oh,
It's
thank you very
absolutely
much, sir. Thank you,
Ab-
Dr.
Absolutely correct, brother. Absolutely correct. Here, myth number 3: men are not real men if they can't take it. Male contact tells us daily that they feel less of a man when experiencing abuse in relationships. Some have reported feeling so ashamed that they do not want to acknowledge the abuse. They fear that if they do, it will make the situation real. According to the American Psychological Association, stereotypes of masculinity can have a negative effect on young boys and men because they can stigmatize normal human emotions. If a man feels stigmatized about what's happening to him, it's more likely he won't report the abuse.
Correct.
They might not want to talk about the ways of dealing with it and their emotions. Feeling angry, scared, or sad is normal for everyone. Men don't have to take it, in quotations, the abuse to prove their masculinity.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, uh, it's a point that as a man, I should be able to take this shot. All right, but how many times men have taken this shot and have gone down because they took the shot? You are still flesh, my brother. Uh, you know, uh, Back in the day, it was sticks and stones may break my bones, but words never hurt me. That is the most biggest lie from Satan. Words do hurt. Words created this world, according to Genesis chapter 1. Words created this world. And the Bible also says in Proverbs 18, death and life is the power of the tongue. So when someone is speaking down to you, who you love and adore, or you
Mhm.
look up to, that's your prototype. And so you're open. You are an open vessel. That's why I tell men it is so important that they speak into their wives. But wives, hear me loud and clear. If your husband's not speaking into you, that's probably a sign of his trauma. Because no one probably ever gave him the accolades that he needs to give to you. Next time I get me some water, be like you.
I get thirsty when I'm doing these, man.
All right.
Myth number 4: men don't have access to the same resources as men. While there seem to be more domestic violence resources for women than men, steps to continue to be taken to change this. Steps continue to be taken to change this. In October 2017, the Associated Press reported that only the second shelter specifically for men was opening in Texas. Now,
Wow.
even more resources are available. I think that those are only 2. I'm not sure.
Wow.
I took a class for
That's
my
deep. That's deep, man.
oh yeah, yeah, because it seems as emasculating. They don't want to deal with it, right? They guys don't, you're a real man, you should have enough money to go to a hotel, or you should have resources to go stay with your mama, or go stay with your friend, or go stay with your boys. But they don't want to do those types of things. Why are you here? Why are you at my house? Because you can't control your home, you can't control your
Yeah.
right. Imagine showing up at your boy's house at 11 o'clock at night. Hey man, I need to spend a night on your couch. They
Yeah.
don't, right. This is the stereotypical stuff. Like, why can't you control your woman? How come you don't
Right.
have a place for a
Right.
hotel? This,
Right.
that, and the other.
Right.
All these different types of conversations. So I don't think that this is actually a myth. I think it's actually truth. There's not a lot of resources for men who are dealing with this type of thing. And this is, so a lot of men feel compromised. They feel trapped. They don't want to leave their children. They, all this different dynamics that goes on when a
Right.
man seeks to lose to leave his home or the violent
Right.
situation.
Right.
Yeah.
The bottom line is when you open that door to being violent to one another, it is very catastrophic of how that will affect the home down the road. There's no doubt about that at all, and people must recognize that.
Right. Absolutely. So there's a phone number at the bottom here. If you're a man in particular dealing with domestic violence, you can call 1-800-799-SAFE. That would be 7233, 1-800-799 SAFE, which is safe, and that is 1-800-799-7233. Anything you want to say to end this off, brother?
Is that for either you're giving it or you taking it is a sign that you need the trauma to be healed because you keep finding yourself in this role, and the more you find yourself in the role, and this is what people don't understand, I'm feeding the trauma. And a lot of people don't understand, Dr. L. They are feeding the trauma. If you starve it, it dies. So I remember a story uh, of this Indian, and he had this crazy dream, and he woke up, just jacked up. And so the chief said, "What was the dream?" He said, "Well, there was a black wolf and a white wolf, and they were about to go at it. I mean, they were about to, get down. And so right before they attacked each other, he woke up and he was bothered because he said, well, I don't know who won the fight. And the chief said, oh, that's easy. Whatever you feed the most. So if you feed the negative, that will overcome the good. If you feed the good, then I will overcome the negative. And every day you have to make a decision. Who am I feeding today? Am I feeding the negative part of me, or am I feeling the positive part of me? Whatever you feed. And that also includes what you watch on TV. Also includes what you listen to. What am I feeding? If I'm feeding the negative, then why am I surprised? I'm grumpy. I'm never happy. Why? Because you're feeding. Whatever you feed is what nourishes you. I'm sorry, I'm about to preach. I apologize. I couldn't help myself.
I was going to let you do it. I don't know if I was going to give you an offering, but I was going to let you do it, though.
I thought I had the jokes, not you.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Yeah. So watch what you're feeding yourself, whether it's physically, obviously eat right, exercise, and watch the stuff that you're consuming via the media. And right. We just read an article talking about, what media portrayals deem men should be and what considered weak and masculine and all that.
Correct.
So, so watch all that. So that's our show for today. Thank you guys so much for riding with us. Again, if you have a show topic that you want us to discuss, hit us in the email. It's right there. Check out our About Me page. Check out our website as well. We're constantly adding stuff to it. It's still a work in progress. I ordered some nice little polos. They should be here very soon. We're going to put this.
Oh, you ordered some polos?
I told you I was.
Oh, I know you're going to actually do it, man. Thank you very much. How much
I
you
do it? They're expensive. They're expensive polos, man. I told you I'm a polo snob. If I put a polo on, it's gonna be right.
Listen, man, I'm just a pastor, sir. I'm not a mega. All right, please understand. There is a distinct difference. Okay, sir.
All right, man. All right. Do you put your stuff online? Your sermons and stuff?
Yes, I do. So they're on Timothy Brantley. Facebook, Restoration Springs International Church, Facebook. They're on our YouTube page and also our website, rest.org as well.
A lot of preachers, well, I don't know about a lot. Let me retract that. I do know a preacher who puts his sermons, just the sermons, not the rest of the service and all that, just a sermon in a podcast. And because he ministers to those, I think I told you this, he ministers to those men who are trying to be very masculine. They're hunters, they're fishers, and they don't want to go to the traditional church house, but they still want to hear the word of God. Right. So therefore, he puts. I think that's actually a very good idea. And they send him a little money here and there, for his time and work and effort and stuff. I suggested to you. I suggested to Stacy. I think that's a really good idea. In all honesty, there's a lot of people who are very church hurt.
Yeah,
but still want good information.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that next. Hold on. Let's talk about that next episode. All right, y'all. We'll get to check out the next episode because we're about to record it right now. Take care of yourselves. Much love and peace.